The AppleMusic program provided to you requires two numbers for each individual note and rest in the melody. The first number describes the pitch, that is, how high or how low the sound is, and the second number describes the length or time value of the note. How do we find these numbers? By using the AppleMusic conversion chart provided to you as a handout. With this chart, you will be able to convert a piece of written music into data statements that the AppleMusic program can use to play the tune. You say that you don't know how to read music? Never fear. With the aid of your chart, you'll find that it's quite easy. Let's look at a piece of sheet music. You can find appropriate music in many bookstores and, of course, music stores. Look for children's songs or tunes arranged for beginners. Remember that AppleMusic can only play a single melody line, so choose a tune that is easily recognizable. Now let's make some sense out of this. Music is written from left to right, top to bottom. This particular selection has parts written for voice, piano, and guitar. Now, since we're only interested in the main melody, the vocal melody, something that we could hum or sing, we can dispense with the extra accompaniment. Ah, that's better. Now remember that time is depicted horizontally, while pitch is shown vertically. Notice these vertical lines that appear at intervals in the music. These define measure bars, or equal periods of time in the music. Look closely at the notes. Notice that they have different shapes. Some have heads that are open, some have heads that are closed. Some notes are followed by dots. Some notes have bars or flags attached to their stem. Each type of note has a different time value. The shape of the note head and the presence or absence of flags, bars, or dots determine the length of the note. The bottom half of your handout shows the various types of notes. The number on the right is the time value L that the AppleMusic program will use. Those strange shapes in the middle are called rests. A rest is a period of silence in a piece of music. The shape of the rest, the number of flags, and the presence or absence of dots determines its length. Because a rest is silent, its pitch value will be 0. Pay special attention to notes that are dotted. A dot following a note means that that note's time value will be increased by 1/2. Notes that are grouped together in threes with the number 3 written above or below them are called triplets. They receive 2/3 of their normal time value. So, now you can easily find the length value of any note or rest simply by comparing its shape with the examples provided on the bottom of the handout. Now, how do we find the pitch? Remember that we said that pitch is depicted vertically. The higher a note's position is, the higher its sound will be. Let's look now at the top part of your chart. Each note has a letter name that corresponds to its vertical position on the staff. The letter names go up to G and then start over at A. You see that each note has a pitch value associated with it. This is the number P that AppleMusic will use to play the music. Now, while 2 or more notes may have the same letter name, if they have different vertical positions, then their pitches will be different. Look now at the bottom of the screen. Notice these note names and associated pitch values which seem to be between the plain letter name notes. These are the pitch values for sharped and flatted notes. A sharped note is indicated by a sharp sign on the same line or space as the note head and is slightly higher in pitch than an unsharped or natural equivalent. A flatted note is indicated by a flat sign on the same line or space as the note and is slightly lower in pitch than its natural. In a given piece of music, all of a certain note may be sharped or flatted. For example, here the composer wants all of the F's to be played as F sharps and all of the C's to be played as C sharps. Here, all of the B's are to be played as B flats, and all of the E's are to be played as E flats. To indicate this, the sharp or flat signs appear at the beginning of the piece of music. So sharp or flat signs appearing at the beginning of a line of music affect all of the same letter name notes in the piece. A sharp or flat sign may also appear in the middle of a piece of music. In that case, the sign affects only those same letter name notes in that measure of music. So here, this B is to be played as a B flat because the flat sign appeared in the middle of the piece of music. If further on there was another B without a flat sign, it would be played as a B natural. Same would apply for this A flat. Here we play the A as a flat because of the flat sign. If later on we find an A that does not have a flat sign in front of it, we play it as an A natural. Another sign that can appear in the middle of a piece of music is a natural sign. This cancels out the effect of a sharp or a flat that appeared either at the beginning of the piece of music or earlier in that same measure. So, a natural sign cancels out the effect of a sharp or flat for all same letter name notes in that measure. Let's review the rules for finding pitch. A note's pitch is determined by its vertical position and whether or not it is sharped or flatted. A sharp sign raises the pitch while a flat sign lowers the pitch, and a natural cancels out the effect of a sharp or flat. If the sharps or flats appear at the beginning of the piece of music, they affect all of the same letter name notes in the entire piece unless temporarily canceled by a natural sign. If the sharps, flats, or naturals appear in the middle of the piece, they affect only those same letter name notes in that measure. So remember, AppleMusic needs two numbers for each note or rest. The first number describes the pitch of the note. You find the pitch by matching the vertical position of the note with the notes on the top half of your handout, keeping in mind that sharps, flats, and naturals will alter the pitch. The second number determines the length of the note or rest. The length is determined by the shape of the note head, the presence or absence of dots, flags, or bars, and by the number of flags or bars attached to the stem. Now you see how easy it is to translate a piece of written music into data statements that the AppleMusic program can play.